Hi, my name is Ganesh Dalvi and I'm a certified professional facilitator. Do you know that impactful facilitative session is not a standalone activity but a series of activities that need to be done to ensure that the session is impactful and most importantly relevant to the outcome. So in this series of 3 videos, I would be sharing about the 3 stages that play a very critical role in ensuring that your facilitative session is impactful and is really making your client happy. So the 3 stages are diagnosis, design and delivery. In this video, I would be talking about diagnosis. When you go to a doctor, what does a doctor do? He asks you questions. He tries to understand what exactly is the problem. A facilitative session ideally should try and help solve the root cause, the actual problem, rather than attacking the symptoms. For this, you need to have a holistic idea, a very clear picture of what the problem is. This can be achieved by asking questions, by gathering more information and interacting with all the possible stakeholders in that particular intervention. Questions like, what is the desired stage that you're looking at after this intervention? What are your pain areas? Why do you feel these problems are occurring? Did this problem start right now or were they been always there? What change happened in your business environment which probably would have caused these problems? Here, remember that you need to be unbiased, as that is one of the competencies of a facilitator. The questions that you ask need to be open-ended. Do not ask any leading questions. Do not jump to conclusions. The way I do it is I do not take any opinion about any participant that I'm going to be interacting with during the workshop. Okay, that might make me biased towards that particular participant. I prefer to interact with that participant on a very neutral ground with a very open mind, and then I make my own observations. This helps me to look at the insights shared by that participant while I'm doing my contracting in a very unbiased manner. So that's one element of diagnosis. You can go a little deeper by interacting with the employees of an organization, especially if you're doing a workshop around maybe culture, maybe around diversity and inclusion, if there is a takeover of an organization by another organization and you need to get that blend of the employees. So for interventions like this, the diagnosis is extremely important. Second, another aspect that you look at when you're doing diagnosis, especially when you're doing a business strategy, is to understand the business of the organization. Spend time with the employees, spend time with the customers, maybe spend time with the suppliers, and you will get to know how the business runs. While a facilitator is supposed to be content neutral, it always helps to have some idea about the business. Talk to different stakeholders rather than relying on one source of information. There have been times where I've been called to do a session on, say, maybe negotiation skills, but when I spoke to the stakeholders, we realized the problem was interdepartmental collaboration. So then the entire structure of the intervention changed. So rather than proposing a session design that you feel had worked for a previous organization, it always makes sense to create a session design basis the diagnosis of the organization. So friends, this was a little bit about diagnosis. Let me repeat what I just mentioned in a very short way. One is interact with all the possible stakeholders. It could be on call, it could be via mail, it could be one-on-one, but please do that and do it in an unbiased way. Do not rely on one source of information, because every stakeholder would have their own agenda or would have their own outcome from one particular intervention. Yeah. Keep the larger outcome in mind, and the outcome will only be decided when the diagnosis is complete. Ask questions that are not leading. Ask open-ended questions, questions that will give you more clarity. Do not try to corner the participant by asking them very difficult questions. And very importantly, make it a point to document all that you are collecting. As I always say, if you are doing harvesting, it needs to be processed well. So this data can form a wonderful source of information for you to design your sessions. And if your session design is good, then the delivery becomes a lot more easier. So thank you so much. My name is Ganesh Dalvi, and I will be back again with tips on the next stage of a facilitative intervention, which is designing a facilitative session. Thank you so much. Take care.